farm friends, welcome back to S&G Family Farm. Today we are going to be talking about tomatoes. As you can see before me, I have a ton of tomatoes here, and you can see some of them are looking absolutely fabulous, and some of them are looking like they need a little help. Now, with that being said, there was a distinct difference in what I did with these. I picked a really good nutrient-dense potting mix to put these in, and then this was a much cheaper potting mix. So these were all started at the same time, so you can definitely see that potting mix is extremely important when it comes to your tomatoes and your starts and your plants. So for the most part, what we're going to do today, these are about 4 to 5 weeks old now, and we're going to be up potting these into larger sizes. So you can see I've got little bitty like 2 to 3 inch pots, and we're going to go to a 4-inch, 5-inch pot. Now in my area we're zone 7, 7A, 7B, and we are going to, our last frost date is in the middle of April. But I know for a fact that I will not be planting these out into my garden until the 1st of May. Because we still, in my area, we still run the chance of possibly just likely having snow up or really cold snaps up until approximately the beginning of May / Mother's Day. So between the 1st of May and the 2nd week of May. So I know I will not be putting these out until after the beginning of May. So these have got a little bit to go. So we definitely need to up pot them so they have still more room. And you'll see when I go to up pot these that I'm actually going to be putting these actually towards the bottom of the pot. And I'm going to be burying another 1 or 2 inches of stem. This ensures that I will have a really good, strong root system in place before I plant it out into my landscape. This will give the tomatoes an extra helping hand in that process, and going from there, they will be able to take off and really start producing and have a much healthier plant. I have 4 varieties of tomatoes here. Most of this flat right here is all going to be Roma tomatoes. I have a few baby boomer cherry tomatoes here. These are green tomatoes. I think these are Aunt Anne's green tomatoes. I got the seeds from Baker's Creek. And then I do have some Cherokee purple tomatoes too. I have 6 of the, or I have 6 of the Cherokee purple and 6 of the Aunt Anne's green tomato. And then I also have my 4th variety here is another cherry tomato. It's called a black strawberry. These, I really enjoyed these last year. They have a little bit more of a fruity sweet flavor to them, so I'm definitely going to grow them again this year. And now I have, of the seed starts I had of these, the seeds that I planted, I only got 3 plants out of them. So my germination was about half. But these seeds are 2 or 3 years old now. So I did expect my germination to be much lower. And then my baby boomer cherry tomatoes, I have 10 starts of these. So I will probably be gifting these to a few friends as little gifts, because the cherry tomatoes make a great patio tomato for people who don't necessarily want a full garden but like to have tomatoes. So we are going to get these potted up. Going to be potted up into an upsize, and we will see what it all looks like when we're finished. So I'm just going to put a very, very small layer of dirt in the bottom. Not much, you know, maybe a ½ inch just to start off with. And then I'm going to leave these as they are. I'm just going to pop them out. You can see that we have some beautiful root structures going on here all the way around. So this is absolutely fabulous. I am going to kind of break these apart, and I'm going to scoot them just like they were in the smaller pot to the sides. And like I said, we're going to bury them deeper. So again, we're going to get some more. That's the beautiful thing about tomatoes, is their stems, wherever their stem comes in contact with soil or dirt, it will produce roots. So you're going to get these buried just a little bit deeper here. So you can see they lost a little bit of height compared to what they were in the regular pot, but not by much. But we are getting an extra inch or two as far as stem underneath the dirt, which means we're going to get an extra inch or two of a root system to make these even stronger and more hardy and ready to go. Now, these are all being grown inside with grow lights. It is in a closed room. I have this particular room that I have in my house for my grows, for my starts, is in the corner of my house. It's in the southeast corner of the house. So I have a double window facing the east and one single window facing the south. They are not in front of a window, however, but they are in a very warm area in my house. That room that they're in stays about 75 degrees. They do sit underneath a grow light, which helps them out, keeps them from getting leggy. You can see that these stems on these are absolutely beautiful. They are nice and thick and sturdy. They're not all floppy and bending over. Absolutely happy with that. And then I also go in there when I water, and I run my hand over the tops of them daily, like this, so that my stems are nice and sturdy and they thicken up and they're very, very hardy. It mimics kind of like the wind coming through and allows them to really have that thicker structure and sturdy structure to help them when they get moved outside. Probably in the next month, probably in about 4 weeks, or on days that the temperature is at least as warm as it is in my grow room, then I will be moving these outside for several hours in the afternoons where they can actually get sunlight and get that fresh air, and it will help them even more. So you can see I'm not doing anything special here. I am just popping these in these larger pots, separating the root ball just a bit, burying the stems a bit deeper, giving them a bit more room to grow. In addition to that, this potting mix has fertilizer mixed in with it, so they will get fertilizer as they continue to mature and get a little bigger. Now I do know, okay, so this happened probably in the separation process. I do have a set of leaves here. So the cool thing about tomatoes, even with this little set of leaves, I can go ahead and root this. I can pot this up, and this will grow a whole new tomato plant. They are absolutely prolific in growth, especially if they have the right conditions and the right temperature, and I am very excited about this. My goal this year is, last year, due to health conditions and health concerns and stuff, I didn't have as much time or ability to get my tomatoes and my rest of my garden as productive as it could have been. But this year, I am going to be working strongly on growing tomatoes. Me and my husband are mostly carnivore, if you will. We eat mostly meat. We don't eat a ton of veggies. We do eat salads on occasion, etc. But we do like tomatoes and we like peppers. So my big plan this year, last year with the tomatoes I was able to get off of my garden, which is surprisingly, considering I only had about 6 or 7 tomato plants that actually did really well. Most of that was from watering. That wasn't because the tomatoes plants themselves weren't good. It's just because of watering. Just didn't have the time, didn't have a good watering system set up and whatnot. I was able to get almost 12 pints of red salsa out of that. And then in addition to that, I was able to get almost double, well, not quite double, about 18 to 20 pints of salsa verde. I did not grow tomatillos, so the salsa verde is made with just just green tomatoes. Me and my husband are mostly carnivore, if you will. We eat mostly meat. We don't eat a ton of veggies. We do eat salads on occasion, etc. But we do like tomatoes and we like peppers. So my big plan this year, last year with the tomatoes I was able to get off of my garden, which is surprisingly, considering I only had about 6 or 7 tomato plants that actually did really well. Most of that was from watering. That wasn't because the tomatoes plants themselves weren't good. It's just because of watering. Just didn't have the time, didn't have a good watering system set up and whatnot. I was able to get almost 12 pints of red salsa out of that. And then in addition to that, I was able to get almost double, well, not quite double, about 18 to 20 pints of salsa verde. I did not grow tomatillos, so the salsa verde is made with just just green tomatoes. We had an early frost that was going to be a deep frost, and it was going to be pretty cold for like a couple days in a row. And so we had to go out there and gather up all of the tomatoes, red and green, and we were able to get enough of the green to actually have some salsa verde, which is actually my favorite salsa. I like to cook with it and I like to eat it with just chips and stuff. So I was happy about that. I didn't get as much red salsa, which is my husband's favorite, but it's okay. This year our plan is to grow, as you can see, I've got probably 36 to 40 Roma tomatoes, which are the best for sauce making and for other things. They're great for canning and things. So with that, I plan to have like pasta sauce, which we don't eat really bread or pasta, but I like to cook it with meatballs just in the crock pot. It makes it a really quick, fast dinner for us. And so we're going to make pasta sauce, maybe some spaghetti sauce. We do like a low carb, oven baked, layered, no bread pizza bowl, if you will. And I'm going to want to make some pizza sauce for that. And then, and if you're curious, I'm literally just using Miracle-Gro potting mix. Grew up using this stuff, grew up using Miracle-Gro fertilizer. I don't like the fact that it's not organic. You can get organic ones, but honestly, for the price point and and the availability in my area, it's what I have, and it works. It works. You can obviously see this was a much cheaper, even though it was organic, it was a much cheaper potting mix I used on these. And then these were potted up and up potted with the Miracle-Gro potting mix, and you can see the difference. You can just see the difference, which is Miracle-Gro's whole thing. You can see the difference. And while this potting mix that I just pulled out of this bag is moist, I'm going to add a little bit more. My house is very dry. The area in which I am is very dry. You know, and honestly, with our rainfall, I don't know why we have not been classified as a high desert, because we do not get that much rainfall. All right. So I've got my 2 purple, I've got my 2 green, I've got 2 of my baby boomer, I've got 1 more baby boomer, and then I've got my black strawberry. So, and then I can go on to my Roma tomatoes here. I obviously do not have enough flats here, and honestly right now I repurposed at the end of the growing season last year, at the seed starting season, at the end of seed starting season, I repurposed my racks in order to accommodate more canning jars, empty canning jars. And so I still need to go get another rack because I'm running out of room here. So I will see what I can get potted up today, and then the rest of them are probably going to have to wait until I get paid again. But see, even with these have still got a pretty decent root system on them. Not as well as those other ones that I potted up, which you saw. But these aren't too bad. You can definitely see that they do have a nice root system. But we are going to give them some better, more nutrient-dense soil. And hopefully they will catch up with their partners over here. Partners in crime. Alright, that's all the baby boomers. And now we're going to get the black strawberry ones going. A lot of the time when I do this on my own, when there's nobody around, I will usually put on like YouTube or something, or a movie or a TV show I like to watch, and have it play in the background so that I can get some entertainment while I'm up potting. I'm not going to do that today, but because it is pretty quick going. My station for this is actually my kitchen table in my living room, right off of my kitchen. Sometimes I'll do it on my coffee table while I sit on the couch. But either way, wherever works. My grow room is in a really small space in my house, and I don't have much of the way of I don't have like a table or anything in there. It's literally just whatever I can fit, wherever I can fit it. Alright, I'm going to kind of squish some of these a little bit closer together here so that I can fit a couple more pots right here. And then obviously, like I said, I'm definitely going to have another flat in this. So I will definitely, before I get all these potted up, I'm going to have another bag of dirt, and I'm going to have another couple of these flats. So these trays, I've got these in. You can either have them, a lot of the time these trays come with like the Jiffy starter packs or whatever with the little bubble packs in them. At my local garden / hardware center, they actually had just the bases for them, and so I had picked up a couple of those because it was really super convenient because I only had one other one. And okay, that one is a lot better, but for whatever reason, these tomatoes are still kind of struggling. It's very weird. Which is probably just nutrients that they're needing. Anyway, I was able to pick up a couple of these trays without the inserts in them, which were amazing. They were only like $2 or $3. came in huge, very handy. And we are able to keep getting them going. Alright, so there's one. I can probably do one more before I'm going to run out of space. Maybe a couple more. I can probably do these two, or maybe two more over here. And then I'm going to run out of dirt, and I'm going to run out of space. The other stuff I have right here, you saw me pull this one out. This is my bell peppers. So I started some pepper seeds at the same time I started my tomatoes. However, I forgot one day to go in and check them while they were still in the little seed starter packs. And they all dried out and they all died. Well, except for a few. As you can see, I have a few. So I've already restarted some, and they are about 2 to 3 weeks behind these. So, but they should still be plenty of time for the season. They won't be that far behind. But I have, in addition to the 5 varieties of tomatoes I have, I'm going to be growing bell peppers, a lot of bell peppers. I want to be able to put a lot up and preserve them because I do like to cook with bell peppers and I like to eat them. We are also going to be growing, because again we're making salsa, we're going to be growing jalapenos, habaneros, serrano peppers, some cayenne pepper, bell peppers, and I was going to start, I was going to try and grow pimento peppers, which is, if you harvest them early, they're cherry peppers, and I wanted to pickle some cherry peppers. But I don't think I'm going to get to it this year. Next year, I think I will concentrate more on cherry peppers, or pimento peppers to pickle for cherry peppers. And I will concentrate on that next year. So for this year, I am just going to concentrate on my hot peppers. Mostly for salsa making. I will be able to pickle some of like the jalapenos and stuff. I want to make some cowboy candy. I also want to make some hot pepper jelly. That was the other thing I'm going to be wanting to make this year, is hot pepper jelly. We are also going to be doing, I'm going to be doing pickles. I want to do a lot of pickles. We eat a lot of pickles. Especially in the summertime. They're fabulous for electrolytes. So I will be wanting to do a lot of pickles. Alright, as you can see, I have used up pretty much all that dirt. Don't really have any more. I don't think this is going to be enough. We're going to try. Don't think this is going to be enough to do one more, but we're going to try. But yeah, so on these Roma tomatoes, they're under the same amount of light, they're getting the same amount of water, everything else. But I have yellowing on these leaves. And the only thing I can think, the only difference, was the difference in the potting mix that I used between these and these. So that just goes to show you, what you put your plants into and the nutrients that they receive absolutely has an effect on the growth of your plants. All right. I think I can get one more here. So that's what we're going to do. This is going to finish this off. And then hopefully Friday or so, I'll get paid Friday for my job. And I will go get a new rack so I can get some more of these out. And I will be able to get some more soil, and we will be able to finish up potting like my peppers and stuff. I've got a bunch of like medicinal and perennial flowers also going, so you'll get to see me up pot those into probably these little pots to keep growing on. And then with the little bubble packs that I have, I will be starting more, probably herbs. This next round I'll be doing herbs. I've also got cabbage and stuff that'll be ready to be put out in the landscape or in the garden in the next month. So I'm excited for that. Probably closer to the middle of April, those will be put out. I'm going to start hardening them off, in the next 4 weeks so that they are really ready to go outside come April. So what I'm going to do, these that I just up potted with this better soil, I'm just going to water them in. However, I do have, in the meantime, some Miracle-Gro plant food, water-soluble plant food that I am going to dilute. It is not going to be the standard ratio for watering. I am going to dilute it way down, and I'm going to water these so that they can kind of maybe catch up with the rest of these until I can get them up potted. Okay, so like I said, this is the Miracle-Gro tomato plant food. This is for a 1.5 gallons. I'm supposed to use the big scoop. But like I said, I'm not trying to overdo this. I'm literally, they have a small scoop for indoor use. And I'm not, even with a level one, I'm going to put about half of this in here. So yeah, that's about half of that. Maybe just a little bit more. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to fill this up and then I'm going to water. Very important when you're using fertilizer, especially in a potted setting, that you do not get it on their leaves. First off, and second of all, you want to make sure it's diluted to your correct ratio because you can end up burning the roots of a plant. So I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to give it a little bitty drink here. I like these trays because even if you like overwater it, it's going to seep down into the bottom, and then they can continue to drink this. I'm just going to keep making sure the leaves are out of the way as I water this, water these in, and there we go. That's all it is. If y'all have any other questions or you want to see something specifically as far as tomato care or other things, please leave it in the comments below and let me know. I'll be happy to make those videos for you. And just give a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.